Hi, this is Zach. Get ready, this will be a good one. One of the most powerful Web3 assets isn't a crypto coin. It's not an NFT, and it's definitely not a meme coin. It's real estate. We're not talking about virtual land or metaverse plots. We're talking actual real world property. Real estate intersected with new technology completely changes how you look at Web3, crypto, and the new age of building wealth. So stick with me because this is where digital money finally meets the real world. Also, this content is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial, legal, or investment advice. Web3 was built on some powerful ideas like decentralization, ownership without middlemen, and transparency. It's programmable assets on an immutable ledger. But here's the honest truth. Most Web3 assets today live only on screens. They're digital. It's prone to volatility. A lot of them aren't connected to real world value at all.
On the other hand, real estate is physical. It can produce ongoing income, it's legally recognized, and it has held value for centuries.
That's why real estate isn't just compatible with Web3, it's the ultimate real world asset for it. So think about this for a second. Crypto moves fast, right? Markets can swing daily, where people FOMO in and exit out. And narratives can change overnight. But a house doesn't disappear because the market dipped. An apartment still rents. Land is still land. Here's the thing. When you bring real estate on chain, you anchor Web3 to something real, stable, and proven. And that's exactly why institutions, governments, and serious capital are now focused on real-world assets, also known as RWAs. Real estate sits right at the top of that RWA list. It is one of the largest financial sectors to be tokenized. Now let's break down why real estate fits Web3 so perfectly. First, scarcity. You can't mint more land in New York. You can't duplicate a beachfront property in Hawaii. There's no unlimited supply. Scarcity is built into real estate by nature. Second, income. Real estate doesn't just sit there. It generates rent. It produces cash flow. It appreciates over time. That's real yield, not speculation. Third, fractional ownership. Traditionally, you needed a lot of capital to get into real estate, but Web3 changes that. Tokenization allows a single property to be divided into digital ownership units. That means more people can participate and invest globally with smaller amounts of capital. And fourth, programmability. This is where Web3 really shines. Smart contracts can automate ownership transfers. They can distribute rental income. They can handle escrow. They can even enforce rules and compliance. Real estate becomes programmable wealth. Now let's talk about tokenization, because this is where things really start to change. Tokenized real estate means a property is represented on-chain. Ownership can be fractional. Transfers can be faster. Liquidity improves. Access becomes global. Instead of waiting months to sell a property, ownership could potentially transfer in minutes. Instead of locking all your capital into one property, you could own fractions of multiple properties across different cities or even different countries. Here's an example. Imagine a $10 million commercial building that isn't selling because it needs one buyer. With real estate fractionalization and tokenization, the property is placed into a legal entity, and digital tokens represent fractional ownership interests in that entity. Instead of one $10 million buyer, you could have 10 investors each purchasing $1 million worth of tokens, all recorded on a blockchain. This isn't a future idea. This is already happening. And here's why this matters for everyday investors. A lot of people who made money in crypto are asking the same question. Okay, what do I do now? They want stability. They want something real. But they don't want to exit Web3 completely. Real estate becomes the bridge. You're not abandoning crypto. You're not cashing everything out. You're anchoring digital wealth into physical assets. And that's powerful. Now let's talk about trust and transparency. One of the biggest challenges in traditional real estate is opacity, paperwork, delays, manual processes. Web3 introduces transparent ownership records, immutable transaction histories, and on-chain verification. When real estate moves on-chain, trust shifts away from institutions and toward code and math. That's a massive shift. Now zoom out with me for a moment. In the future, property ownership could be searchable on-chain. Real estate portfolios could live in digital wallets. Rental income could stream automatically. Smart contracts could replace layers of middlemen. Real estate doesn't disappear in Web3, it evolves. It becomes more accessible, more liquid, more transparent, and more global. His is how Web3 stops being speculative and starts becoming real infrastructure. So when people ask, what's the most powerful real world asset for Web3? The answer is clear: real estate. Because when you combine tangible value, legal frameworks, cash flowing assets, and blockchain technology, you don't just get innovation, you get the future of ownership. If you want to learn how this is unfolding right now and how people are already getting involved, make sure you check out the other videos on this channel. And if this video helped you, please like it, share it, and support what we're building here. Thank you for liking and supporting us. We truly appreciate you.